give you a little context of what you're watching. The presentation I'm going to show you guys after this little quick video is actually this past week. I went to a good friend of mine's private mastermind group, and all the people in attendance, they actually have brick and mortar gyms, more fitness and strength training based businesses. Their goals are to put clients in their gyms and build their brands more locally. So I went over how they can integrate daily content production into their businesses to grow their client base. So hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, like it, thumbs up, subscribe, peace.
Well, I'll go through it quick. I met Cav probably like 8 years ago at the Arnold Classic. I was literally trying to steal workouts from all the booths. I actually flew there last minute with no place to stay. I couldn't find a place to stay, so I ended up like asking him if I could stay with him one night. I think we did actually share a room. I don't quite remember. But I ended up sleeping in like the bathroom one night because like literally there was just no rooms anywhere nearby. So I was like, well, if I drink till 3 o'clock in the morning and I come, as late as I stay out, I can just get shitty sleep and be fine the next day. So I'm like working out the whole next day. And then I ended up meeting him because he was competing in like a judo competition, I think. He was a little slimmer back then. But yeah. And I don't even know how we bumped into each other, but we met. And he actually knew like Dave Tate and all those guys. And at the time, I was a pro BMX racer. And we just kind of clicked, partied that night, went out, snuck into the Dave Tate party for Elite FTS. Fast forward like a year, I actually got sponsored by Elite FTS as a BMX racer. Met Elliot Hulse. I don't know if you guys are all familiar with Elliot Hulse. Big strength and conditioning fitness guys, like the OG YouTuber. And I kind of followed in Elliot's footsteps. Basically, he was creating this YouTube empire. What wasn't an empire yet, he grew into an empire. And all he was doing was just teaching like football training tips. And this is before it was actually a cool thing to do, to give training tips on YouTube. And then I was obviously pro BMX racer, so I was like, yo, we can get this Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week thing, and I can make a BMX training DVD. So that's what I did. I created, my dad was a videographer. I begged him to help me make this DVD. We created a DVD. I started selling it online, basically just copying Elliot, because like Elliot would invest in all these courses, and I was like this broke kid. So I was like, yo, all right, I should do videos, and I should be on Twitter, and I should do this. And I grew to a decent size. I was making like $3 grand a month selling this stupid BMX training DVD that really there was no market for it. But what I learned was I was creating content every day. I was going to bike races, and I was never, a lot of you guys are athletes in here. I was too good to be amateur, but not good enough to be a top professional. Like I fell in this weird place, which caused a lot of like depression and weird things to happen when I was like, I burned myself out. I don't want to race bikes anymore. I don't want to sell a BMX training DVD anymore. So I got a little weird spot there, but I found Google SEO, and I learned that I can make these little shitty websites and spam links to them and make a lot of money when I ranked #1 in Google. So I did that for about a year. Made way more money doing that than I do now, which is kind of annoying. But it was very short-lived. It lasted. My goal was to create a network of like 500 sites, all making one sale a day of an affiliate product, and the average commission for me was like $30 to $50 commission. So the more I had, the more money I made. And I thought I could sell the whole network for like $1 million if I got to that point. Well, before I got to, I think I was at like 300 or 400 sites, and it was actually anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a day consistently without me doing anything. And then Google changed the algorithms that they work with, and everything came crashing down. I then went to, that was when I was actually with my current girlfriend now. We now have a 3-year-old daughter. We split up because I wasn't exactly a cool person to be around at that time. And I discovered style and fashion. Now, kind of all of that. Now, during all the affiliate stuff, I got really good friends with all the fitness marketers that a lot of people know today, Jason Ferrugia, Joel Marion. I was, in a lot of cases, one of their top affiliates or get with SEO. I was selling hundreds of books or products during launches. No email list, just from organic traffic. So I got really good friends with a lot of those guys. But then I took all that marketing knowledge that I've gained, my content creation skills, because that's what I did. It was just I would write articles and I'd put them on sites and I'd sell stuff. I'd make videos, I'd talk about stuff, I'd sell stuff. I discovered fashion and style. I realized there was a need for men to actually dress well to get laid. Nobody was attacking that market in the YouTube community. They were all kind of tiptoeing around the fact that they could say get laid. It was like dress like a bad boy or do this. But I was just like, fuck it, I'll do this. And I had connections because I was top affiliates on a lot of the fitness stuff. I was also one of the earning dating affiliates for all the dating products. So I had sites about dating offers. And my good friend Jason Capital, you've heard me mention a couple times, he was a monster in the dating niche. We partnered together on a product called 51 Handsome Guy Secrets. And that still sells to this day. It was a product to help guys become more handsome. And then in doing that, I attacked YouTube, making a video every single day for about 2 years. I think I have like 600 or 700 videos teaching men's style and fashion on YouTube. Grew it from 0 to close to like 22 or so thousand subscribers. And then YouTube kind of did something weird with their algorithm as of like a year and a half ago. Whereas like if you were cussing, you were considered a volatile channel or abusive language or something. So in one night, literally, like just like the SEO stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm reliving this again. Like all of my videos were demonetized because I cuss a lot in my videos. So I was like, well, this sucks. Luckily, I had a lot of brand. I have a big email list. I was just like, okay, I need to diversify this a little bit more. But then Instagram was kind of in its infancy. And this is like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. My girlfriend was like, Kristen at the time, she was like, you should just get on Instagram and do style stuff on there because, it's starting to get popular. And I was like, all right, I'll give this Instagram thing a shot. So I started posting my outfits, taking selfies, doing all like the fashion stuff. But I realized that I didn't have to be the same person I was on YouTube on Instagram. I could be like by this time I'm just like, I don't want to teach guys to get laid. I got a daughter on the way. Like I'm just like, the last thing I want to do is teach a grown man how to dress for my legacy for my daughter. So it turned into creating content and like my skill sets of direct response marketing, creating content, making cool videos, and just generally me looking like I'm having an amazingly fun time all the time, which is basically what everybody wants to see on Instagram anyways. So I started doing that. I started making edited videos for my Instagram stories every day for like, the pattern for me and what I'm gonna teach you guys today is I don't win because one of my videos is awesome. I win because I put out 1,000 videos. Same way you have a lot of books, like write a lot of articles, make a lot of podcasts. I don't know how to make one dope video, but I can make 500 that are subpar and look really cool. Like that's, so I took that mentality to Instagram. And this is right when the strategy I used to kind of grow my Instagram from, I didn't start from 0 on Instagram because my YouTube was bigger. I was bleeding people off. And when you have one platform, you can kind of usher people to other platforms. You're not going to get them all, but you're going to get a good percentage, so at least you don't have to start from scratch. So my Instagram started at like maybe 1,500, close to 2,000 followers. And then I attacked it doing an edited story every day. And I started making these little 30, 15, 45-second videos that were way more produced than anything anybody was doing in Instagram stories. And I did it as a way to stand out. Now I would not recommend anybody do that just because the amount of work that was involved with that. I mean, I was doing full out, like they were taking me an hour, sometimes 2 hours a day for a 30-second clip. And I would literally have a camera on me at all times. It was literally starting to cause a problem with me and my girl. I'd bring it everywhere. It was in my daughter's face. And I was like, yeah, I need to chill. But in doing that, it was right when Instagram started letting you share stories. So my stories were getting shared because they were really good quality. I went from 2,000 to almost 8,000 or 9,000 very quickly. I've since plateaued now at like 12, where I'm stuck at right now. But again, the repetition of content, I'm not too worried about it because it's just like something will happen if I just keep putting stuff out. So I just keep pumping content out. But in the last year and a half, I branded myself as like a content production expert, which basically whatever you guys are right now, if you want to change that in a year, you can. Just so don't get stuck on one thing or think that you're like completely like, if Cav said, I'm not training anymore, I just want to be a marketing guy, he could. And all it takes is one piece of content on Instagram and then starting a whole new path. I've managed to reinvent myself a lot. And it's one of my strengths, which it might also be one of my biggest flaws too, because sometimes I feel like maybe I quit too soon. But I mean, my income's been going up, my followers have been going up since I started. So it's kind of weigh that option if you're thinking about doing something like that. But what got me to here is I've learned how to really kind of make a lot of money from not a lot of huge following on Instagram. For specific numbers, I'm going to remind myself to beep this out. I had an event last week. I had 7 people. They all paid $3,000 to attend in St. Pete, Florida. One guy flew from Austria. I have 12,000 followers. Most people with 100,000 followers can't make that happen. I'm having an event in September. I plan to have 100 people there. Most all of that is going to come from Instagram. And the strategies I use is the direct messages. There's so much power in talking to people via DM. It's literally it's selling all day long and nobody realizes it because it is more tedious. It's not automated. I do have, and if you guys, after I get done talking today with all the content stuff, like I actually have a guy that works for me who's on a commission basis. I have to remind myself to beep this out too. That actually is in my DMs answering people's questions and selling them at the same time. And they think it's me. He's responsible for about half of those seats that came, to the event. So there is ways to scale this to a degree if you guys want. For what you're doing locally, like you could crush if you have somebody just sitting there talking to people all day long. But yeah, so that's kind of like how I got here, and that's kind of where my branding is going. And I'm a big proponent right now of Instagram, but just content in general. I think a lot of people overthink content. A lot of people, and nobody puts out enough. And this kind of like piggybacks on what Gary Vee's been saying now for a while. It's like you have to produce it. You have to produce at a rapid rate, and you can't really produce enough of it because the attention spans and what people see is very, very short. Just like we were saying, like you could make some dope video today. 24 hours later, nobody fucking remembers it. Unless another dope video comes out, or another one, or another one, or another one. Like it's like shotgun approach every single day. And if you can kind of maximize that and get a content plan and system in place where you guys are every day and it's not stressing you guys the fuck out to where you want to kill yourself, that's hopefully what I'm going to show you in a second, because I'm going to help you guys kind of create a content calendar, which is where most people fuck up. I do most of my content production in batches. Like I just see like this is recording, I have audio. This will be sent tomorrow to a guy in the UK who will then start chopping all this up, which are going, if I talk for 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, I'll probably have 20, 30, maybe 40 1-minute clips, 1.5-minute clips that are going to get put on Instagram. I do this all the time, and it's just maximizing my time. You guys could easily do this on a Monday, especially with a podcast. Like you just need to get good at repurposing all of your stuff. And Greg Roulette's actually coming tomorrow. He's really, really good at distributing it at the same time, which is where something I'm a little bit slower on that one, just because I'm so concentrated on basically YouTube and Instagram. Like nothing else really exists to me right now, and that may come to bite me in the ass in the future. But I think that when you have something that works, and just for all of you guys, if you're working with smaller followings or trying to grow, like you have to go all in on one thing for like a year. Like literally just say, I'm shutting off YouTube, I'm shutting off podcasts, I'm shutting off LinkedIn, I'm going all Instagram, or I'm going all YouTube, I'm shutting off, because you will not get any traction unless it's like constant, just like you said with your book, it's like a concentrated effort. So that's like a big takeaway, because everybody tries to be everywhere at once. And you should be like, and I'll show you, because by nature of how to create all this, you're going to create content for other platforms. Like this video, an hour long, will go straight uploaded to YouTube. But this isn't made for YouTube. It's made for my Instagram. It's made so it's like I have a concentrated effort on one thing. So with that said, do you guys create daily content? Does anybody consistently without fail? Is it? No. You're every day?
I have a social media team.
Okay, so yeah, so you have so this will help. This is like bring this back to your team. So I've basically gone through, and I'm a big believer, as you heard just me talking to Cap, like psychological manipulation. Like number one, I want people to see a certain image of myself when they land on my Instagram page. But I also want to be authentic at the same time. But I believe in being authentic, but also making my authentic look really fucking cool. So with that said, I've kind of batched content down into 4 groups. And this is where most people get screwed up. Before I get started saying those 4 things, one of the things I urge you guys to do is don't become professional models. But get used to having pictures taken of you. Like, get in the habit of like a photo shoot. Today, we're going to take photos of me coaching my people. And you will just do your thing, and there will be a photographer taking pictures of you coaching your people. That is the first box. What I'm going to show you is that's authoritative content. All you guys are coaches. You need to command authority. So when people land on your page, they need to see an authoritative figure. Now, there's nothing more authoritative than coaching people. When I say photo shoots, so when you know you're going to have a class of let's say 55 athletes, and you're going to be the main dude coaching it, you show up to that one class and you got a bag with 4 different shirts in it. Every 15 minutes you change your shirt. Now you're getting 8 different pictures, instead of 1. Because if you take the same picture, even if you do it multiple angles, you may get 4 or 5 pictures from every shirt, then you change your shirt, you do it again. Nobody's going to remember the athletes because the focus is on you anyway, so it's going to look like 4 different times. Instead of getting 4 pictures, you're going to get like 16 or 18, and that's like half a month's content. So get used to batching, even like when you're filming videos. If you're filming videos on a Monday, 4 different shirts, 2 different jackets. If you like to wear hats, 3 different hats. But the more you wear the same thing, the less you can repurpose that content because people will notice it's the same day, same thing. It doesn't keep that recency or freshness. So now if you got good shit to say, just fucking say it, put it out there. This is how to maximize it so you get more engagement. So with that said, content, so this is like your 4 blocks. So you got them on a spectrum here. So you got a little tic-tac-toe board. Right up here we have authoritative content. Now this is content that builds authority. All you guys are coaches. When you're breaking these down, these are all coming from the background of Robert Cialdini's influence, the 23 cognitive biases that make people do things. So authoritative content is coaching, like you actually coaching people. You looking really cool, and that's very, I know it's vague, but in any situation where you look cool, like you're speaking in front of people, you just got done, bench pressing 350 and you're shredded and you're sweaty and you look like a badass, that's an authoritative photo. Practicing what you preach is an authoritative photo. Any situation, like whenever the camera's pointed at you, is generally an authoritative photo. Because I'm a believer in what I call the paparazzi effect, and I'm going to put that here. I'll just call it the pap effect because I misspell that word every single time I write it. Celebrities don't get pictures. They don't take selfies. They get pictures taken of them. Celebrities eating lunch. Celebrities getting out of the car. Celebrities, hanging out with their kids at the park. Get in the habit of throwing your camera to somebody and say, "Take this picture of me," instead of taking a selfie. Now there is a place for selfies. Usually generally in the story, so it's more right now stuff. But if it's going on your feed and you want to build authority, utilize the paparazzi effect. So this is kind of like, I know this is vague, and a lot of these are going to kind of blur together because what's an authority pick is also kind of the next one, which is social proof. Now this is where a lot of you guys have clients. Chances are you get results for those clients or else you wouldn't be able to afford to be in this mastermind flying to Fort Lauderdale. Chances are you guys are good at what you do. So the more you prove that you're good at what you do, and you have to remind people, it's just like they forget how cool you are, they also forget how good you are. You have to tell them that all the time. So this is like testimonials. Again, you speaking to people shows social proof. So crowds. Another one would be like you working with clients. Client testimonials, you working with clients, comments, and any type of praise on the internet, podcast reviews, screenshot the comment, post it on your feed. Now, stuff like this, like the authoritative photos, they generally get, like on a spectrum, they'll get a decent amount of likes and interaction. The social proof will probably get like crickets type of interaction. But again, we're looking at our feed as a whole. The more you put out social proof, the more you have authority. I call your Instagram kind of an ever-revolving sales letter. You guys know all these things that make people make buying decisions, invest in your coaching. They need to see this all the time. So your Instagram changes every day because I'm urging you guys to post every day, and it'll become easier when you start doing it like this. But they need to be seeing these things constantly. So it's not about the likes. It's when a new person lands on the page and they say, "Oh, I like this guy, Coach Cav. Oh, he's got happy customers, he's got a book, he's got a product, he's got a mastermind, he's got a gym, he's got happy employees, he's got results from his clients. Yeah, I'll follow him." Now, you may have 10 pictures to make that all happen because nobody's scrolling back farther than 30 days. So these are always need to be happening. So social proof, again, it's just podcast comments on Instagram, direct messages. Just screenshot that shit, post it, and write a little thing about it, just so people are always reminded, not only do I look cool, but I'm also really fucking good at what I do. Next up, we have connection pics. Now, these are the ones, these will get usually the most likes and comments because these are what people relate to. So all the things that make you you go under connection. So we got, do you have a family? Pets? Hobbies, foods, drinks, anything that makes you and gives you a personality of your own, then you utilize the paparazzi effect and you just so happen to be drinking your favorite beer with your wife. Now you have a connection pic because everybody that follows you probably has a wife or girlfriend and they enjoy beer. If that beer happens to be one that your demographic relates to more, you're doing even better, because the whole point of this is you guys need to be the ideal version of what your client sees as successful. And I think a lot of people mess that up. And that is different. And that takes a while. That's not going to happen overnight. But if you're trying to teach youth how to get six packs, you got to have a fucking six pack. You got to remind them every day you got a six pack. So a shirt should be optional in everybody's photo if you're trying to teach dudes how to have six packs. If you're trying to bench more, if you're a powerlifting coach, you should be strong, showing that you're strong all the time. Now, these don't necessarily always have to be videos or pictures. They could also be videos. An authoritative video is you giving a tip, you talking to a camera, helping somebody that's providing value. A social proof could just be a client testimonial, like I was saying. How was your session today? Boom, cool, awesome. Can I post that? You guys cool? You cool with that? All right, thank you, I'll tag you. Don't ask permission. Just fucking take that shit, post it up, tag them, and give them credit. Say how awesome they are. Everybody likes to hear how awesome they are. And then the last one is engagement pics or videos. And we're just going to write engagement here. Now, this is where a lot of people, it's going to kind of come down to how comfortable you are or how thick your skin is, one of the two. Because you can really, a lot of you guys are coaches, so you probably have a lot of coaches that you disagree with and their methods and certain philosophies and different things. You take pictures and make videos about people or things or bigger things that are, it doesn't always have to be a person, but a good way to get attention from somebody is to attack them on social media about something and then you're going to get all your fans and then you're going to get all their fans, and you know what? Instagram doesn't give a shit if they're saying fuck you every comment. All that Instagram knows is that, hey, this account's getting engagement. We should send more traffic to it. So if you're smaller, these are a little more important. Now, as you get bigger, the engagement should be a little, don't base your whole account on just trying to cause controversy and make people pay attention to you. Actually provide all this value, and those are just bonuses. For a specific example, you guys familiar with Frank Kern? Well, he royally fucks up his videos on IGTV, and I was like, well, who's this guy Ryan talking shit about Frank Kern, right? So I made a comment on his video. I said, because IGTVs are vertical videos. He was saying, and he's being lazy, and instead of actually formatting the video correctly for the platform, he's just posting the YouTube videos sideways into IGTV and making people turn their phone. Well, number one, Instagram does hate that. It's lazy. They have algorithms. They know what type of footage is coming through. But two, Frank then made a comment to somebody who was questioning him about having sideways videos, and he said, oh, it's easier to watch this way. So I saw a perfect chance to now take down a beast, if you will, and show my knowledge and expertise. So I made a comment on Frank. No hiding. You can't hide on this. You can't just you got to go right in. So I commented, hey, Frank, actually it's not easier to read like this, and Instagram actually hates it. It's in the description when you go to upload an IGTV video that it should be vertical. I was like, this really all comes down to laziness. You should pay somebody. It takes about 10 minutes to reformat this video. Just an FYI. Still appreciate your content. Thank you. Period. Post. Screenshot, posted it on my page, and then wrote a maxed out caption explaining why you shouldn't do what he just did, while tagging him as well. What did that just do for me? He will probably never post a sideways video again, number one. So I made the internet better. But my people now see, wow, Ryan just literally schooled Frank Kern. Frank Kern is like a god to people that I'm trying to infiltrate to come to my stuff. I just built a shit ton of authority for myself, and now all the people are going to see that comment, which he never replied to, by the way. Frank, if you're watching this, you should probably reply, because he's probably watching my stuff. But point is it created it did his job. But Frank could have really battled me, and he's got some loyals. That could have been a fucking shit show on my Instagram page, but that would have been good for me, and he knows that. That's probably why I didn't comment. So do these in sparingly, but these can also be hate comments. If you get hate comments on stuff, just screenshot somebody's hate comment and just talk about it. Say, yep, if you guys want to deal with this, maybe you guys are trying to lose weight and your family, somebody may comment on your Instagram like, oh, I see you posting all these shirtless pics, congratulations on being healthy. Screenshot it. If you don't want to blast them, blur out their face, don't have their name on there, but then say maybe when you're trying to lose weight, you deal with this, and now you can teach something. So these can be literally anything, but they are very effective. Instagram does love them too, because people love drama, and people can't turn away from drama. So, and doing a video, I mean, it's up to you. All these can be pictures or videos, but now this is kind of the gist of the content. Like I call it the 4 types of content to make money on social media. When you go to create what we're going to call a content calendar, so you decide, okay, what is my page lacking? You may have a shit ton of social proof. Maybe your whole account is based on people that are saying how awesome you are, but you lack authority. So now you just go, okay, I need to do an authoritative photo shoot. I need to make sure I get like 30 to 40 authoritative pictures. Then you start dripping them out in between all the social proofs. Oh, man, I'm getting a little too a celebrity here. Maybe I need to add some connections. So I'm going to make it a habit now for when I go out to dinner with my family, or just grab it, snap a pic, have somebody snap a pic of us eating dinner, or have somebody do this. You're doing connection photo shoots, or the engagements aren't really like planned. They just kind of happen. You just got to kind of pounce on them. They come up. But now you have all this going on. Does everybody have that? So I can erase that real quick. Let me take a picture first, because if I do the video. Oh. Yeah, so now you have now you have a plan for your content. Now you just need to figure out where you're lacking. So you have 7 days in a week, 30 days in a month. So you go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So now you just decide, okay, and I think you asked me what was the best time to post on social media. You will notice as you post content every day that you have certain days that do better than others.
Do this in your book so you can keep it with you and you know where it is. You can just follow it, not on that notepad, because you're going to throw that away.
But so point is,
They're expensive, so use it.
So for example, if you are trying to launch a course, let's say you want to launch an internet course. So you want to draw the most attention to the content about that course. So Sunday and Monday are generally going to be the days you get the most reaction, because most people are out on Instagram and they're bored at work. Or it's Sunday night, they're winding down from the weekend, they're dreading the fact they have to go to work on Monday, and they're scanning Instagram to escape. So on Sunday night and Monday, you should put out the content that week that you want the most eyeballs on. Maybe you have a fitness challenge that you're doing. Maybe you have a new book that you're writing that you're getting ready to launch. So if you want people to know about something, it's got to go out Sunday night or Monday. We'll say an authoritative photo for Sunday night could be a membership site launch. So you're going to post on Sunday night an authoritative picture of you at your computer, and then the caption is going to say, spending these late nights working on my new membership site that's going to be launching. So this would be an authoritative photo. I mean, obviously, insert any product you need it to be. Then Monday, we want to show some social proof that you actually know about a membership site and how to do it. So maybe you've been helping somebody else with a membership site, or you have hundreds of happy clients. You can show a screenshot of your Gmail account with a bunch of with an email from somebody saying, hey, this is awesome, I love that, I can't wait for you to put this into an easy-to-use membership site. Now you have social proof. So now, this is just specific examples, but authority, social proof, then we're like, okay, I don't want to sell too much because then I'm going to look like an asshole. So on Tuesday, I'm going to show a picture of me and my dog. I'm going to build some connection. Wednesday, I'm going to keep it rolling, and I'm going to show me eating ice cream to show people that you can eat what you want while doing that, and that would be a connection pic, but would also be social proof, because if you got abs and you actually live what you preach, it's social proof as well, but we'll say connection for this one. Now, you only have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday, we'll do another authoritative photo. Maybe we'll drop a picture of you training your clients to show that you actually have clients to support the authority pic that you posted about your new membership coming up. Then Friday, we'll do another social proof. Just a happy client testimonial. And then Saturday, you could throw another connection in there. I mean, the connections, the reason I'm saying throw the connection in, the connections by far will be the most easiest pictures for you guys to gather. Because the authority ones, they do take some planning, and they take, usually a photo shoot of some sort, or an opportunity where you are in front of people to get a picture taken, like, which doesn't happen as much as you going and eating ice cream with your wife or girlfriend, or walking your dog in the park, playing Frisbee with your friends, whatever it may be. So Saturday we'll do another authority pick, or it could be connection. Now that you have this, it's just kind of revolving from that point forward. Every week, you're just kind of planning out what you need. Now, if you want to go heavy on the authority because you're launching a product, and all you need is you need 3 authority photos a week. So times that times 3, you need 12 authoritative photos for a month. You guys can do a photo shoot, and in about an hour, get 12 authority photos. So 1 hour of your time per month to get those photos. Social proofs, every time you're in the gym, just make it a habit to grab one testimonial or a screenshot from your email or somewhere. You guys are getting people to say how cool you are. So it becomes very easy to kind of gather all of these. And then you just place them into, kind of step back, look at it from a 30-day plan. You know, am I launching something this week? Do I have something that's evergreen? Am I always driving traffic to my bio link? Am I trying to get people to DM me? And that's going to kind of go into what I'm going to talk about next, is using your IG as like a sales letter. But does that make sense for like a content account? You guys kind of, is that like, so again, if you're ever like, the thing to do is every time you go to post something, you should say, what box does this fall into? It's never random content. It's, this picture is building authority. This picture is building connection. This picture is proving that I know what I'm doing in social proof. So it becomes easy to make these happen. And at the end of the day, if you just post it, it's just kind of based on what you're lacking, that you constantly revolve the content counter. And then you can kind of place your products in that you're trying to promote as you see fit. The next step from this is, so people can see it, has everybody got that? Now, you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard the name Dan Kennedy. You guys are familiar with what sales letters are, VSLs, things of that nature. Well, if you start thinking about your Instagram, or I'm using Instagram as an example, this could also be happening on LinkedIn. It could also be happening on Facebook. It's a little harder on Facebook just because you don't see the history of the photos. The power in what I just showed you is that when somebody lands on your page, they see the top 9. So it becomes, it's always revolving too. So, but now we're going to, we'll call this like the IG sales letter. And I don't, by any means, selling on social media right now, especially to the younger demographic, it's quite challenging. Like their bullshit meters are really high. Like they don't trust, especially fitness influencers and people like that, because they've been, there's that girl, Brittany Dawn, who just got like tons of negative publicity about actually not providing, the program. She's making people sign NDAs for refunds. So people are very skeptical. And that shit was on like Good Morning America. Like people are skeptical. So you got to realize that going in. Don't fight it. Don't say that they're fucking idiots. It's like, no, there's 700 people out there with abs with 100,000 followers just because they have abs. And there's girls that aren't really fitness influencers. They're just, borderline strippers posting pictures in yoga shorts and half naked. That think they know how to do a training program, which I'm sure that maybe some do. I don't know. But either way, so when somebody lands on your page, so the first thing they're going to see is, like when you land on a sales letter or a VSL, what's the first thing you see? You see a headline. Something that makes people go, oh, whoa, all right. So your bio should be some form of a headline that kind of just says what you're about. That's a little shocking, maybe. Not super cheesy. You don't have to go like the top, the one guy that makes people lose 17 inches in a week. Well, I just say, I help dudes get jacked and ripped in a shorter than average time frame. Doesn't have to be like, you guys could wordsmith, but like make it, call out the ideal person that you want there. Then you have your bio link. The bio link can kind of revolve, but generally speaking, the bio link should be whatever you're selling at that time. So just put, and that shouldn't change much. And I think you'll find when you start actually really selling stuff on social media is that you need to tell people about what's the shit fucking more than you've ever told anybody about anything in your life. They don't know, they may see Tuesday's post and they may see Friday's post and you mentioned it on Tuesday, but not on Friday, and then they didn't see it till the next. So it's like you got to constantly remind them what you're selling, what's coming up, what you're doing, how do they get it, where do they go. So this should kind of, I'm trying not to sell a whole lot of things. This really forces you to kind of narrow down your product catalog, which, there are people that are selling a lot of stuff, but that usually goes down in the stories, but it seems kind of cheesy whenever somebody opens up your story and all they're seeing is buy this, buy this, buy this, swipe up, do this, link in bio. They're not really building a brand on social media. But when you do that, or when you do say go do something, it's got to be worth it. So the bio link should be whatever it is you're selling at that time. Now, just like a basic sales letter, there's usually, you're going to have to build some authority and credibility. So those come in the form of, authority / credibility. Now, if you guys want, I would urge you, there's Dan Kennedy has a book that's like do you remember what that book's called, Cav? The sales letter book? It's like $12 on Amazon. Yeah. But anyway, you can Google sales page template and you'll see that they all kind of have the similar format. It's like you shock somebody into being there. Then you build some authority and credibility by telling them how cool you are. Then you build a connection, as in personal story. So you guys should know kind of your hero's journey, as they call it, like what the reason you became a coach, the reason you coach who you do, the reason why you have apps, the reason you're starting this membership site, the reason you became a PT. That should be constantly, again, reminded in the captions of your content. So when you're building authority and credibility, always remind people why you're the authority. When you're showing your connection pictures, talk about your story in the captions. Tell people why you do what you do. Tell people all the things about you that they want you to know, but repeat it all the time. And then lastly, there should be some form of social proof. As you can see, the content boxes, it's very scientifically proven this shit works. It's just different structure when you're doing it on Instagram and it's constantly revolving. Social proof is like your testimonials, constantly reminding people that, hey, my stuff works, you should trust me. And then lastly, you need some form of call to action. So call to action could be send me a DM. Do you have any questions about this? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Then you start garnering people to give you comments. And then you can take the comments to the DMs and you can talk to them personally. You can sell them on your coaching. I wouldn't be selling people in the comments. The whole point is to get people into the direct messages so you can finish the conversation there, so you don't always look like you're selling on your feed, because nobody wants to land on a feed and see all of somebody selling to them if they leave a comment. Or it could be click the link in my bio. It could be check out my story. I talk about this more in my story today. So that's kind of like the format, and that's a basic sales letter format. And all of this should always be happening because you're posting this stuff every day if you're following the content boxes. Does that make sense for everybody? All right. And then lastly, we'll talk about this. Is this helpful for you guys? Really?
We're doing the CTA stuff because I think there's been an issue for a lot of people. What is the call to action? What should you say? How does it?
Yeah.
How do each one of them differ?
Let me do this just for the video because I'll turn the camera off for that. I don't want to tell all my shit there. Lastly is the Instagram stories. Because now all that was for the feed. Now you're constantly going to want to be doing stuff in the stories as well. The stories should be like what's right now. That could be pictures of you. Naturally, it's going to have an authoritative connection, social proof tone. But if you just got done coaching a group of clients, you say, guys, I just got finished coaching a big group of people. Guys, check out this. It's just kind of what you're doing in your day-to-day life. I would recommend you I don't even need to write this, at least 1 minute a day or 4 or 5 story parts per day, like 5 pictures, 2 pictures, 1 video, something throughout the day. You want to be top of mind at all times. So you're posting every day, plus you're active on your stories throughout the day, plus you're active in your DMs. Instagram's going to go, oh, this guy's fucking active. Let's give his account some love. Let's show him some more. So there is actual benefits to doing all this, even though, I'm not going to lie, this is going to take a lot of time. It sucks. It's annoying. You're posting every day. You're taking pictures. You're doing stuff that's probably uncomfortable for a lot of you guys. But it's the nature at where the business is going. Now, one last thing for captions. Captions are, do you guys struggle to write captions? Yeah. So I kind of narrow it down to like a 3-part system. and this is going to be a little vague, but so again, thinking about it like a sales letter, your picture or video is what makes people stop because they're scrolling, they got ADD, they're fucking seeing 800 pictures a day. They see your nice, professional, bright photo of you standing on top of your power rack, swinging like a monkey, whatever it is you do. And then the first line should be some sort of headline or attention grabber. Because you only get to see a little bit. If you look at it, I think it's like 4 or 5 words, and then Instagram cuts it off. So you got like 5 words to make people look at the picture and then read more. Because that's all you're trying to do is get them to read more. Now the next part should be some sort of story / teaching moment, preferably both together in one seamless, integrated, crafted 200-word paragraph, and then you have a call to action. Now, you don't always have to have a call to action. It could just end with the story, like you're just telling them about you. But the call to action could just be like this if you relate, or like this if you know, and if you're ever struggling for like what the story is, then you can kind of revert to the picture. Write a story about the picture, what you're doing in the picture, but then somehow spin it back to relate it about what you sell or what you're about. So that's kind of like this, you know, with the 4 content boxes, you know, if this is a social proof caption, there's stories about the client. If this is an authoritative, how you built your business to the point where you have 55 people that come in 6 times a day for a class, how many trainers you have, how many of this. You just want to always remind people how successful you are without being enormously douchey. So that's kind of the caption thing. I know a lot of people struggle with that. But that's like the, I guess, I don't know what that, like, I just taught this for 2.5 days to the people that came to my event.
But, so I have to do this, right? Like, so when I'm around Ryan's like my cool friend. Yeah. So I have to like wear these just to feel good. But here's the thing.
you came in like off, right? You know what to do with my heart.
I'm normally not. I just gotta be in a position to toss people. But, well, he did. No, he did. Don't turn off yet. So he did do this for 3 days, but I talk about like the devil's, like people hear like all the time, like the devil's in the details, and I say no, the devil's not in the details, the money is. So this is great, this is a great skeleton, it's a great structure, right? And there's a lot of people selling something like this without the auditing component because they're just like, just do this, but they don't realize that they get so stuck in this box here, and then they're in this quadrant, and then it jacks them up. Because now all of a sudden that one quadrant just turns them into a douche, right? Or the other quadrant just turns them into somebody who's like, they get stuck in like friend zone. You see what I'm saying? It's like you don't want to get stuck in friend zone if you really want to swipe, but most people aren't. So you got to figure out like what's the balance to the goal, right? As Ryan goes over like CTAs, which is something that you, I think, it's not that we struggle with it, but we have to understand like what the intent is, right? And like how do we drive people so everything is going in that direction? And that's the key, right? Is to figure out what it is. So the details that we're going to go over, he can't do what he's doing in 3 days, but what I want to do is I want to really break down your calendars. I want you guys to write this out. I want you to look at it. Ryan will pull up your stuff. We'll audit it a little bit. Is that cool?
That's fine.
And then, so I want to audit it naturally right now, see where you are, so he can tell you what you need to focus on, and then build your calendar percentage based upon that.